Okay, moving on to paragraph B of 8.405-5. This is not new. This existed before November 2nd. It's just been moved down to accommodate the new language. And the takeaways from here is that agencies get credit towards their small business goals on orders and BPAs established with scheduled vendors. Agencies do not have to do a separate size determination at the order level. In fact, they're advised to rely on the small business representations made at the contract level. And to find out what contract or schedule holders' sizes are on their schedule contracts, you can look at GSA Advantage and GSA E-Library, which I'm going to show you later. Just a note on size determinations or size representations. They are made at the contract level, and agencies should rely on them, though they do have the option to get a size, do a separate size determination at the order level if they so choose. Paragraph C of 8.405-5. This, like paragraph B, is not new. It existed before. And what this deals with is what happens when you are not setting aside an order in a BPA. And what it says is that agencies should consider at least one small business or one of the small business types when they're placing an order. And they might also consider establishing socioeconomic status as an evaluation factor as a way to get small business if they choose not to go the small business route. Paragraph D of 8.405-5, similar to the last two paragraphs, it has existed before, it's not new, and this also deals with when an order and a BPA is not being set aside. And what it basically says that an agency has two quotes in, one from a small business concern and one from a large business. They're both identical in every way, including price. And what this paragraph D says is that agencies should give preference to the quote from the small business. Now it's important to note that we're talking about identical quotes, same price. So in that instance, agencies should give preference to the quote from the small business. Alright, moving on to the basics of the Schedules program. This first topic is on socioeconomic credit. As I mentioned a couple of slides ago, agencies get credit on orders to schedule vendors, and it goes towards their goals. So an agency places an order to a hub zone schedule holder. That order, the value of that order, will count towards that agency's hub zone goals for that year. Okay. The second aspect of the Schedules program, we're going to be talking about Advantage and E-Library, which are two of our e-tools. Basically, they're websites that contain information on all the products and services offered by schedule holders, both large businesses and small businesses. Now, these websites also have indicators showing what size or socioeconomic type a schedule holder is under their schedule contract. So these two tools make it very easy for you to find small businesses, and it makes market research a lot easier. Here's a snapshot of GSA Advantage. And GSA Advantage is recommended more for products than services. It actually doesn't have any of the services. So if your requirement is for products, I strongly recommend that you use GSA Advantage. And Advantage, it's basically like Amazon. So in this particular instance, say I wanted a pencil. So I would search for pencil, and I would get a list of all search results and say I click on one. That's the pencil I want. Now Advantage has something called a price comparison tool. So as you can see on this screen, I chose the pencil, and now I can see what that pencil costs on all the contractors, scheduled contractors that offer that pencil. I can see what prices they're charging, and more importantly, I can see what their socioeconomic indicator is. And that's the column that's circled in red. Okay, next is a screenshot of GSA E-Library. And I would recommend E-Library as a tool when your requirement is for services. In this particular instance, my requirement falls under Schedule 70, which is the one for IT. And I'm looking at SIN 132.3, which is for leasing of products. what eLibrary shows me is that there are 54 contractors that are awarded that SIN. Now, if I was considering doing a set-aside, I'd want to see, well, what types of contractors are on here? What can I get? And as you can see the items, the columns, and the boxes that are circled, I can see it clearly in the column what size and type they are, or if I choose to filter those 54 contractors and say, I just want to see the small business, I can also do that.